Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all walks of life, Bbig spiked up today. It was a very interesting day. This is likely a highly anticipated update video, so I will make sure to bring you guys the most value possible in this update video. Make sure you guys smash that like button if you enjoy what I do. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. With that being said, let's get right into it. So first things first, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Moomoo.com. Moomoo is a licensed FINRA SIPC brokerage that does absolutely no payment for order flow. They also have the best brokerage promotion, so it's the best of both worlds. You deposit $1 on their platform, you can get up to $7,000 in free stock. So all you have to do, deposit $1, you get up to $7,000 in free stock. Absolutely incredible. People have got Apple stock, you can potentially get Amazon stock, Google stock. I've not heard of that yet, but yeah, it's such a great deal. They also have a promotion where you can get a free share of AMC with a $100 deposit. AMC was up big time today as well, so that could be a good bet as well. But yeah, guys, I think this $1 to get up to $7,000, absolute no-brainer. So check that out. Thank you guys, Moomoo, for sponsoring today's video. Moving into the technical analysis here on Bbig, we'll pull up that weekly chart first to give you guys some perspective. So on a weekly level, obviously this thing is still oversold. Looking at Market Cipher, it's on a minus blue wave. So the essential strategy is right here at 0. You can see the chart right here showing it goes up to about 100 over here, goes down to 100 down here on Market Cipher, right? So 0 is right in the middle. We are still on that minus side in terms of momentum, and now the VWAP is pointing up. So we basically dodged a bullet here. We're still oversold, and we can keep coming up here, right? So that's how the wave would turn out. It would mean positive momentum until then. And then it could go even further, like right back up here, right? So there's totally tons of potential for this stock to continue to rally, to continue to rise. But I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what any bear says right now. There's still bullish momentum there. It's still oversold on a weekly chart. There's still room for it to run. Moving into the daily chart right here, we got another green dot as of today. That's another good sign, right? Green means go. The 12-hour chart is showing some bullish divergence right here as well. Big blue wave, smaller blue wave, so that is exactly what you want to see when trading on Market Cipher. We also switched to green money flow there, so it's looking very good on some of these longer time frames. The 1-hour chart is probably the diciest of them all. There is bullish divergence on the positive momentum waves on Market Cipher, which would suggest that we're in an uptrend right now, but it did get that red dot with the momentum slowing down into market close. So we will see how this plays out tomorrow. There might be a small pullback, although I don't know if that's the case. There's always the potential that we get a multi-day runner, and this theory right here gets invalidated. There's only a small sell-off, maybe a sell-off down to like 350. Nothing crazy. We can continue to run, considering that the longer time frames are still very, very bullish on the technicals, and that we're the number 2 short squeeze store. Tons of volume is building up on this stock. I think there's still a solid bet that this becomes a multi-day runner. Seriously. Moving into the short squeeze analysis, we're still a threshold security as marked by the T right there. We're number 2 on that Fintel short squeeze leaderboard, so obviously there is a chance of a short squeeze. The Ortex data is completely the same as always. We move back up to about 100% utilization. We are at 100% utilization, 136% cost to borrow right there, and everything is the same. There was a weird thing that went on in AMC and GameStop and other shorted stocks in terms of security lending volume, which did not happen on Bbig stock. There was an uptick in security lending volume, but what I think is actually going on is, well, it's a conspiracy. It's also a bit of speculation. I don't know if I can talk about it in this video. It's going to take a bit too much time, but make sure you tune in to my daily live streams, because I will talk about that theory there. I should have recorded it, but it is what it is. Moving into Fintel right here, barely any shares available to be borrowed. They have it at a 75% borrow fee. It's coming right back up there as of today. The aggregate short volume ratio has spiked up over 50% the past 2 days, which is very interesting. Could be the foreshadowing of today's run that we saw. And now let's move into that whale flow. So this is what we are going to be spending the most time on, as the whale flow was very, very significant today. All right. So into close, there was some bearish pressure here, some puts being bought. There was also some selling of calls. We're going to pull up the charts right here, the raw charts, because it will show that it was majority bearish, 75% bearish here. But you have to keep in mind that this was because of these floor traders right here that had a multi-leg strategy. Now, also, remember how we talked about floor traders that were doing synthetic longs in the market, the options market, by selling puts. So you'll see right here, they're buying a deep in the money put. Why would they do that? Is that synthetic shorting? It could possibly be. However, we essentially saw the inverse of this trade just a few days ago, where they're selling these deep in the money puts expiring 318, and they're creating a synthetic long. Here's the profit loss for that multi-leg strategy right here. It does look like they are shorting the stock, but keep in mind, and if you watch my other videos, if you follow me on Twitter at HootmoneyYT, you'll know that I post the due diligence of some humongous whale just as big as this whale right here, just as much premium, doing the exact same thing but to the upside. So it very well could have been a synthetic long in the options market taking profit, which is why I don't think it is a super bearish bet. And that's also why I'm going to put a max premium right here of $100,000, because I don't want to have a whale skew the data, and it's going to paint a bit of a different picture. It's going to be a bit more bearish here on the bid side, about 37% bearish, 63% bullish, but this is a more accurate judgment of sentiment right here. And then when we get rid of the bid side, so we get rid of call option profit takers, so people who were smart money, they got in yesterday. All right, so my apologies, Unusual Whales website went down. I wanted to look at ask side only flow, and it went down. So here we have the ask side only flow, 10K premium or more, both calls and puts. Again, we're going to do a limit of $100,000 in premium or more to filter out that what I believe to be a profit taker who is buying to close that put. Now we can see that the flow was 84% bullish, and in my opinion, this is a bit more accurate of a flow. As you guys can see, it was bullish throughout the day, tons and tons of volume. Now that's the key to this analysis. It was the volume. It was the sheer amount of call option volume. You see all of these bullish whales on the ask side buying calls, most of them going for April 14th or 7/15. It was absolutely insane. And then there was a few whales that were betting against BBIG buying puts at close. Could this be a possible hedge? That could in fact be the case, but overall more people were betting on the long side than the bearish side, obviously, and the volume was up greatly. As you guys can see, the call option volume on the historical flow went up over 2x of what it was yesterday. There was still a bullish flow yesterday, guys. You could have got in. I bought call options yesterday. Remember that. You could have got in before today, but yeah, no, we did spike up today. Remember, historically speaking, if we do end up going on a run for this, when call option volume does spike up, it is typically a decent time to sell, as noted by the chart here. Using this call option volume spike, this call option volume spike correlates to right here, and it sold off from there. And then right here as well, the call option volume spike led to a sell-off. So I'm not going to say that 100% of the time this is the case, but the probability is in your favor to be selling when that call option volume does spike up. We did get that spike up right now. So although I do think we have more room to run, it is a tad bit of a risk. I want to address one more thing right here. A lot of people want to know whether or not is a good idea to chase or not, right? And personally, I'm not chasing, so I'll make that very clear to you guys. But this is something I came up with to figure out whether or not it could be a decent time to chase. So we're going to use the flow again. We're going to do the bid and ask. We're going to get rid of puts. So it's going to be just buying of calls, right, by whales. I also could do only single leg, right? Multi-leg strategies can be a little weird, but there were no multi-leg strategies here for the calls, so it doesn't even matter in the first place. We're going to pull up the charts right here, and we're going to look at the bid versus the ask side, because this is where we can know whether or not it is good to chase or not. So when the ask side has more volume than the bid side, so 70% on the ask, 30% on the bid, this means more whales are buying call options than selling their call options, meaning that there is probably more room for this thing to run, which is why I don't think right now is a good time to sell. It's a decent time to sell. Obviously, anytime that you're in profit, you can take those profits, but I do think we do run more because of this alone. You can do the same thing with something like Senseonics right here. Senseonics, there was more selling. So there was more bid side volume on the call options, meaning that more whales are actually selling. And this is even with a very bullish flow. If we take away the bid side, it was 100% bullish, but more whales are actually selling than buy, which means that you can sell too, right? So that's what I'm going to be looking for with BBIG. I'm going to wait until whales are actually selling more than they are buying, and that will be my indication that it might be a good time to sell. Getting into the biggest option trades of the day, again, it was those multi-leg strategies from floor traders, something that I'm not necessarily going to take as super bearish, because in my opinion, they were likely closing a synthetic long position by buying back those puts. The rest of the trades were all call options. It was about 50% bullish, 50% bearish. But again, I do think these were just profit taking. Max pain for 211 is $3, but keep in mind 211 does not nearly have as much open interest as 218, and 218 is now at $4, which would imply about a 40-cent upside from the current price levels. There's also very significant gamma exposure on this chart right here. We did have more gamma exposure on the January 21st expiration, but the gamma exposure is building back up again, especially in the April 14th and the February 18th expirations. All right, so that is my update on BBIG stock. We're doing very, very well. I still got my shares, and I also bought call options yesterday before this major move, so we are eating greatly on that. Those are up about 60%. If you want all my buy and sell alerts, including the options alerts, again guys, VIP trade alerts, the first link in the description, so check that out. Again guys, I'm not going to be saying publicly if I'm selling, if I'm buying, if I'm doing anything. That's all going to the VIP trade alerts first, just to avoid controversy. And yeah guys, that's all I got. I think there's more upside here in BBIG. We're going to be paying attention to it with Hawkeyes. We're going to be looking real closely at the flow data, see what the whales are doing first, and then react accordingly. It's looking solid. The market's up. We're doing well. Drop a like on the video if y'all enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and check out Moomoo if you want up to $7,000 in free stock as long as you deposit $1 on their platform. It's that link in the description or pinned comment section. Anyways guys, I'll be seeing you guys next time. See ya.